Hello there, and welcome to this new webinar on our Siri Android application. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have with us Mr. Aditya Sehgal, and Aditya is right now working as a data analyst in Optum Global Solutions, one of the finest and most reputed companies. And it's my great pleasure to introduce to Mr. Aditya, who is highly dedicated professional into healthcare industry and data analysis. So let's look into his educational background. So he have done his bachelor's of science BSc in cardiovascular technology, and also he have done his master's in postgraduate diploma in management. That's PGDM with healthcare management from Goa Institute of Management, which is one of the prestigious institution. So right now in his role as a committed data analyst, Aditya is basically looking into health economics and outreach research team, and over the past year, he has developed deep into complexities of the US healthcare system, and he leveraged his expertise in programming languages, right, like SAS programming, SQL, and Python. His proficiency extends to data visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau, allowing him to, translate healthcare data into an actionable insights. So please join me in welcoming Aditya Sehgal, a true healthcare expert and visionary in healthcare analytics landscape. Yeah, hello Aditya. Yes, Aditya, welcome to CD platform, and we are honored to have you on our platform. And there are many students, there are many graduates who are literally curious to know about what exactly is data analytics, because even though they are from pharma background, they have more curiosity but less awareness about what exactly is data analytics. And then I could search your profile on LinkedIn, and that's how we got connected. So on behalf of every one of us, we welcome you on this platform, Aditya.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sachin sir, for inviting me to your platform. And I can completely relate to you just said. So even when I was doing my graduation, I also come from the healthcare background, and I also had that dilemma. So what I am going to do during my MBA, or what this role is going to be about as a data analyst. So yeah, I can completely relate to that, and it would be great if you can use some of my experience and help the students.
Yeah, sure. Now, my first question, before we go ahead and in detail about data analytics as a, career or as a job role, we would like to, deep dive into your, professional life and personal life. Can you please share about your educational experience and your initial early career life?
Sure. So I'll start my professional journey from my class 12th itself. So like every other Indian, I also come from the science background. And like every science background, I also wanted to do NEET and I wanted to become a doctor. But yeah, my NEET score wasn't that good to get me into a medical seat. So then I also tried for pharma as well, but I wasn't getting some good options in pharma as well. So at that time, I was a little anxious. So one day I went to an education fair at Pragati Maidan with one of my friends, where I got to know about this course known as cardiovascular technology. So this was pretty new to us, and by the name cardio, it's a big industry. So I was, completely amazed, and I decided to pursue this course. So while I was doing my graduation in cardiovascular technology, the only challenge that I faced is that after doing that we didn't have much career options. So after doing that, I would have become a technician. So at that time, my parents and my mentors, they played a very key role in uh, in helping me out with in which direction I should move forward. So at that time, I decided to go for an MBA in healthcare only. So I started preparing for that, and I got a chance to study at Goa Institute of Management, which I consider as the best MBA college for
Yes,
healthcare
yes.
management. And after doing my PGDM over there in healthcare management, I got placed at Optum. So Optum is a part of UHG, United Health Group, so which is one of the largest insurance companies. So Optum is basically the consulting wing of that company. So here I am working for the last 1.5 years as a data analyst in the health economics and outcomes research team.
Okay, okay, great, great to know that. Even certainly, what I observed is like how you said, like your initial journey, you were trying for need, you were trying for exactly the medical, and similarly, what we have observed in pharma, almost 90% of the pharma they landed into pharma accidentally. Even their vision is to again get into engineering or medical.
Right.
So this is something which we have observed that maybe it's a secondary option choosing a pharma, but what I have seen is those who even accidentally landed into pharma, they literally have a great careers who have made in the industry.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Aditya, my next question is because every fresher is, curious to know about how exactly will be his first interview because they have this, goosebumps for their first interview
Right.
experience. Also, they have, a kind of confidence is also there. But still, can you share your first interview experience? How exactly it was?
Sure, I would love to share my experience. So basically, before talking about my experience, so for all the young students who would be giving their interviews in future, so rejection is part of interviews. So and every rejection teaches something. So that's how I am going to give you my experience of my first interview. So it was for a consulting firm, and basically, we first had our case round in which they gave us some scenarios, and based on that, and they also gave us the data, and based on that, we had to do some calculations and write it on a piece of paper and upload it. And that was basically a case round as well as a general kind of an interview. And so it basically started with the case that I have solved. And they were asking questions related to whatever I had learned during my MBA. So at that time, I was rejected in that interview, but it taught me a lot of things. The first thing is, whatever data that we get and whatever analysis that we do, that is one thing. But what story we can make out of that data, that is the most important. And
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right.
what make an analyst, a data analyst or a consultant great. So that is the first thing that I learned. And the second thing that I learned from that interview is that whatever we are studying, they were asking me only those questions that I had studied during my MBA. And they were asking me which is your favorite subject, which is your favorite topic, and they were asking me questions on those things only. But there were a few questions which I wasn't able to answer. So that taught me the second thing, is that if you like something, then you should deep dive into it and understand ins and outs of it. You should have complete knowledge of it. So that was very helpful for me.
Right.
And when I gave my interview at Optum, so those learnings were very helpful for me.
Right, right, right. Normally, what even we normally observe like whenever an HR he actually wish to wants to reject us or the result is rejected, then in a professional way, how they say is we will get back to you. So again, my experience was the same when I had my first interview in Zydus Cadila. At the
Okay.
end of the interview, the HR was like, "We will get you soon." And I was literally waiting for next 15 days. Abhi call aega, abhi email aega. But the actual meaning is rejection. Great.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Now coming back to the actual topic for which we are here, can you please simplify me what exactly is data analyst? What is this all
Okay.
about?
Yeah, sure. So when we talk about a data analyst, so this is based on my own judgment from my experience for last 1.5 years. So I can bifurcate the role of a data analyst into two sub roles. So one is a programmer and one is a data scientist. So basically, and overall, as the name suggests, a data analyst is someone who collects some data, who cleans that data, and using that data, he finds some insights out of it, and using those insights, he tries to predict the future or tries to build some model. That is an overall view about a data analyst. So when we try to stratify cluster group these roles, So a programmer is someone who basically cleans the data. For example, I have the overall patient, or I have the record of all the patients who were admitted in a hospital in last 1 year. So in that data, there might be a lot of inconsistency. There might be some missing rows as well in that data. So as a programmer, my role is to basically clean that data in such a way that can be used by the programmer itself or some other team to find some insights out of it. So the main role of a programmer is to clean that data using various programming languages that we have. Like they can even do it in Excel. They can do it in SAS, SQL, or Python, any language. And then comes the data scientist. So the data scientist is someone who uses that clean data to find some insights out of it. So one example could be what are the trends over the years, whether it is increasing or decreasing, or they can even use that data to do some kind of predictions, whether what is going to be sales for XYZ cars in the upcoming years. So that's how we can bifurcate the roles of a data analyst.
Right, right, right. Because normally we heard of this particular job role that is clinical data management, who basically, again, it is maybe a partial analyst role who basically manage the entire data from this clinical trials or from the entire clinical research. Okay. So how exactly these healthcare insurance companies work, and how exactly your job role as a data analyst, they basically complement these companies?
Okay. So talking particularly about my role, so basically we work for the pharmaceutical company. So we have pharmaceutical clients. And since you mentioned about the clinical data analysts, so basically we help those companies during the clinical trials. So, for example, there is a company which wants to launch a new drug. So they would like to know what is the market size for that drug and what are the demographics of of the patients who might be using that drug, whether they had a particular diagnosis or not. So that's where the role of a data analyst comes in, who use the data which is already there, and they, churn it in such a way that they can give those insights to those companies. And when you are talking about an insurance companies, so how they use the data analytics is that, so for example, if a claim has come for an insurance company, right? So they would like to know whether that claim is actually true or not, whether it is a false claim or not. So for rejecting or accepting it, they would use a data analyst. So what a data analyst would do, they would use the previous history data, and based on they would run a model to find the chances whether it is a false claim or not. So that's how some predictive models could be used to identify, the whether a particular claim is true or not.
Right, right, right. So I understand these all these Indian companies are basically the outsourcing companies who are
Right.
basically on a role to provide such kind of services to US or UK based companies. Is it?
Right, absolutely right. So most of our clients are from the US itself. So around, I would say that generally a data analyst, 70% of the times they work for the US clients, 20% of the times they work for the UK or the European clients, and 10% of the times they work for the Middle Eastern clients.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, who all are rather eligible to become a data analyst? Maybe someone from pharma is, we everyone is aware like pharma is also can become a data analyst. Who all other are there? Because I want to understand as a B Farm or M Farm graduate, who all are my competitors?
So for this, I would say if I can become a data analyst, then anyone can become a data analyst. And see, data analysis is something that we do in our everyday life as well. While taking any money-related decision. For example, if we want to buy a house or we want to invest our money somewhere, so we would think that maybe the market would go up, so we should, invest in that particular field. So basic data analysis is something that we do in our general life as well. So, but the thing that we do is, we are using sophisticated tools for that, and we are using and we have a particular SOPs for that we are following while doing the data analysis. So I think anyone can become.
Okay, okay. Is it anything which is related with, engineering skills? Because I personally, I literally hate mathematics, and that's the reason I have left, dreaming engineering. So if you want, if you want me to become data analyst, do I need to learn engineering? Do I need to learn mathematics? Is it like?
Yeah, I can completely relate to this. Even I had a phobia for maths, during my class 12, and I never wanted to become an engineer. And when I started studying about biostatistics, which is basically the base of data analytics, there I was able to understand the mathematics that we use there is very basic. We have to first understand what kind of variables that we use, what are the different types of variables that are there. And on those variables, we run very simple statistics. What is the mean? What is the median? What is the mode? What is the maximum of it, minimum out of it? These are very basic things that anyone can understand and do. And when we started working on programming languages, it was a little difficult for me because I do not come from that background. But over the time with practice, I was able to cope up with that. And today, we have one very big advantage, that is, as we all know, that technology is ever evolving, and the new buzzword that we are hearing these days is AI. So AI is very powerful, and there are many programming languages that we don't know. But using AI, we can convert code of one programming language into another. So that is a very big advantage. So in future, I don't see even engineering students writing a huge piece of code. So they would give the instructions to AI or Chat GPT or any tool related to that, and the AI would do that work. So
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. So this means AI is actually helping us to simplify our job role rather than replacing us?
Absolutely. Like AI is in future, AI is going to become our best friend. So rather than talking to our, peers regarding any help, AI would do that thing in just few seconds. We just have to write, this is what I want, and they would give us the piece of it.
Aditya, I really appreciate you because I have seen very few people who basically suggest ki AI is becoming a very best friend of us, because many of, majority of the people, they're like, oh, AI is going to replace us and all those things. It depends, right?
Yeah, basically AI is going to increase our scope. So for example, earlier we were able to do only certain things based on our capacity. Now what AI is going to do is AI going to fasten up our work so that we can focus on other things. So
Right.
basically using AI, we are going to find new avenues to work upon. You know,
Mhm.
so that's AI is going to be very helpful.
Okay, okay, okay. Now I want to understand how exactly is the hierarchy of the job roles when I see data analyst as a position. Maybe as a fresher, I start my journey as a data analyst, and what after 2 years, 5 years down the line?
Okay. So in data analytics, if someone is a fresher, they generally start their journey as an associate data analyst or a
Okay,
data analyst. And in some companies, many students get a chance to work directly in the data science domain as well. So we can, as of now, we can keep data science and data analyst as one, right? So after working for a few years and gaining some experience, that data analyst would become a senior data analyst. And after that, the person has two options basically: either to remain in that field and become a manager and lead a team of various data analysts, and some people also switch to consulting domain. So in
okay,
consulting domain, you use the power of data analytics and you use the power of market research to provide solutions to some external clients. So uh, so based on that journey, so if you become a consultant, then you become a senior consultant, and at the end you get a chance to become a partner, which is the topmost level in a consulting firm. But if you remain in the data analytics field, you become a manager and then senior manager, and uh, as you move up in the hierarchy, you get a chance to lead a team of a lot
okay,
of data analysts.
okay, okay, okay. Say for example, I'm a B Farm degree pharmacy fresher or M Farm, or maybe you can consider I'm MSc candidate. what kind of steps I need to take so that I can learn data analytics and I can be a prospective candidate for a company like you?
Okay. So uh, if you want to become a data analyst, so for that first, so as a good analyst, we need to understand what our variables are. So until and unless we are not able to read our data, we cannot do some analysis on that, right? So first of all, we need to understand what are the different types of variables that are there in general, and then how and we should be able to relate those variables to our data as well, right? This is the first step. And after understanding those variables, then we can move ahead with some basic statistical concepts like mean, median mode that we discussed earlier. After that is done, then the person can start with various programming languages.
Hmm.
And when I say programming languages, we always start with Excel, because Excel
Right.
is Excel. Even Excel can be used for doing the basic analysis, right? And whatever the big models that we run on, big programming languages like Python or R, that can be done in Excel as well. So we have to first learn Excel, and once we have got enough knowledge of Excel, then we can move ahead on various programming languages like SAS, SQL, Python, R.
Right. 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 So do you suggest to go ahead with any kind of short-term course, online course, 3 months course, 6 months course for this stuff to learn the languages?
Yeah, so basically, as I mentioned, that first we need to understand the basics of data analytics. So
Hmm.
that would start with basics of biostatistics. So first, a person should do that, and after gaining some experience about biostatistics and all, then they can go ahead with the programming languages.
Okay, okay, okay. Is there any criteria as a part of selection? I'm asking from HR perspective or from technical interviewers perspective. Uh,
Right.
what are those three assessment points based on which they basically select the candidate? What exactly they see in the candidate?
So I think the first thing would be the experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? For the selection criteria. When I say experience, it does not mean how much professional experience do you have. Experience could be related to what kind of projects you have worked upon, whether you have participated in any competition. That also count as an experience. Second is your skill set, like how many programming languages do you know? Although this won't be a big criteria in the upcoming future when we would have AI working properly, but as of now, it is considered as a major criteria. How many programming languages do you know, and what all things that you can do in your programming languages? For example, in Python, we can do basic programming as well as we can run some AI model. We can do machine learning. That is also a part of it. So, what all skill sets do you possess? And at the end of the day, like it is how well you perform in your interview and what
Mm-hmm.
story you can make out of your data. That is so. I
Okay.
think these are the three
Right, right,
things.
right. Aditya, out of my curiosity, I have one question. What exactly is the difference between this SAS, SQL, and Python? Because I'm not aware of any of this.
Right. So basically, I'll give a very simple example. I live in Ghaziabad, and from Ghaziabad, I want to go to New Delhi airport, right? So I can go there by metro. I can go there using my own vehicle. I can go there by taxi. So similarly, these are just the mediums to to achieve your final goal. So every tool like SAS, SQL that I mentioned, so they have different advantages and disadvantages. Based on that, we use a particular tool. So
Okay, okay.
just to give you a small perspective, so that SaaS tool, it is not an open source tool. So in healthcare and insurance company, we generally deal with a lot of sensitive data that we cannot
Hmm.
share in the public domain. So for
Yes,
that,
yes.
we need a programming language which does not share the data outside the organization.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So as a beginner, as a fresher, which particular language will you suggest me to, to go ahead for the learning based on the difficulty level, which a common man or a layman can understand or learn?
So before going for a programming language, I would suggest that person to learn the Excel basics and the advanced Excel,
Mm-hmm.
because ultimately most of the analysis, the initial level analysis is done in Excel only. Once
Mm-hmm.
Excel is done, and I am making these suggestions as per the industry trends. So
Mm-hmm.
today, most of the organizations require the skills of SQL and Python.
Mm-hmm.
So after having basic skills of Excel, the person can go ahead and learn SQL first. And after learning SQL, they can go ahead with Python. So SQL is very easy.
Okay, okay, okay. So you mean to say I need to, as a part of the preparation to come or enter into this particular domain, I need to right now, as a fresher,
Right,
I need to focus on 5 pointers. Number one is I need to understand what exactly is or everything about variables,
right,
the basics of statistics.
right.
Number three is Excel, excelling in Excel, right? Then SQL and Python.
Right.
Okay, okay, okay.
And here you can add one more point that could be a 6 point. That is data visualization.
Data visualization.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have find the ins outs, but how you are going to represent it, that is also
Okay.
very important, right?
Okay. Okay. It means whatever data I'm generating backend, how exactly it should look like.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, the charts and the type of charts in which you want to show your data. So
Right.
that thing also you can do in any of these languages. Apart from that, there are sophisticated tools for that. So for that, the person can use Power BI or Tableau.
Okay. 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 Can you suggest me any of the free content or rather free courses or learning content which is available in open source on internet so that students can go ahead and learn immediately?
Sure. YouTube is the biggest source for even my learning. So we can simply go to YouTube and start with the basics of data analytics, where we can get an understanding about the variables. And in on YouTube only we can find some basic courses on Python, SQL, and Excel as well. And if we get stuck anywhere, we can use Chat GPT as well. And I
Right.
guess it is very important for all of us to use ChatGPT in our day-to-day lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Understood, understood. Right, right. Now, out of everyone's curiosity, because many of the times, whenever we have such kind of webinars or seminars, when we ask the students, do they have any kind of questions? So the universal question, only question what they ask is, "Sir, tell me the salary."
So salary,
Sir, tell me the salary and how exactly it grows exponentially.
right? So basically, so as a data analyst, it depends on what type of organization you join, and the salary of a data analyst depends on the type of clients as well. So generally, if you are working for a US client, you would be getting more salary, right? Because they get their the company gets the money in dollars, right?
Right, right.
So if you are working for an MNC, obviously the person would be getting more. I would say 10 plus. That would be his salary. For Indian companies, it is slightly lesser.
Hmm,
But
hmm.
even I would say even a fresher data analyst can easily get a job of 6 LPA very easily.
Okay, 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 okay. Now, there are a few questions which we have received from a few of the questions. We'll just review those questions.
Sure.
Uh, as a fresher pharma graduate, what I should choose, medical coding or data analytics?
So I guess medical coding is a completely different field. So in medical coding, what we do is, for example, if we go to a doctor, they simply write a prescription, right? I am talking from the US perspective, right? So, for example, there are certain drug names that the doctor has written. So, but in data analytics, we cannot directly use those drug names or the diagnosis, right? So, in medical coding, what they do is they assign some particular code to that disease
Right,
or to
right,
that
right.
drug. And that code we use in the data analytics. We do
Mm-hmm.
not use the disease name. So medical coding is a bit different. But and in medical coding also, the scope of growth is very limited, right? So, and ultimately, if you want to grow in your life after medical coding, you would have to jump to data analytics.
Right, 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 right. Similarly, second question is coming like, what exactly is the minimum difference between biostatistician and data analyst?
Okay, so when we talk about statistician, basically a biostat person would help in building the predictive models, in doing the hypothesis testing that we generally use in research, whereas a data analyst would simply get some insights out of it.
Okay, okay, okay. The next question is, yeah, this is related with job market. Like, what exactly are the, like, how we have, manufacturing hubs for pharmaceutical companies. These are located at, pan India. Similarly, what exactly are the job locations? What you can suggest for data analyst position across India?
So the best thing about this particular role is you can work from anywhere.
Right,
So
right, right.
so most of the most of the IT organizations, they have this advantage that they can work from even remote locations, and most of the companies have their office all around the country. But the major hotspots in India for this industry are Bangalore, Hyderabad, up to a certain extent Mumbai, and Noida. And
Okay, 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 okay. Now, yes. So, Aditya, we are at the end of this interview, and as a ritual, we have a ritual of having a rapid fire. So, are you okay for rapid fire? I'll be, asking you a few of the questions, and we would like to have your questions in 0 minutes, rather 0 seconds. Okay.
so
Aditya, which is your favorite movie?
my favorite movie is Andhadhun.
Okay, great, great, great. If not Narendra Modi, who will you vote for as a next PM?
I guess S. Jayashankar.
Wow, great choice. Great, great, great. Harshad Mehta or Telgi? Who
Uh,
exactly rocked the market?
Although I haven't seen any of these series, but since I have heard about Harshad Mehta a lot, so I would go for Harshad Mehta.
Harshad Mehta. Okay, okay. Elon Musk or Mukesh Ambani? To whom you will?
Elon Musk, just because he's investing in future technology, and I guess Mukesh Ambani is lagging behind Elon Musk in that.
Okay, okay. As a career point of view, which city will you prefer, Delhi or Mumbai?
Since my family is in Delhi, so I would prefer Delhi.
Okay,
But I would add one thing. So I don't know what is that, but there is something in the air or the water of Mumbai that whosoever goes there, they are highly motivated and very hard to kill.
yes, yes, yes. And with due respect, we invite you to visit Mumbai. Obviously for a non-professional visit, and do visit Mumbai. You will like it like anything. And my last question is, what will you prefer, office or work from home?
100% office.
Okay, okay, okay. Because many of these freshers, they are very curious about, having work from home. Their initial requirement, it starts from, having a work from home.
Okay. See, work from home is good up to a certain extent only. But if you actually want to grow and do networking and learn more, you have to interact with others, right? And we can understand the other skill set or others' perspective only when we interact with them. So
Right,
I guess
right,
working from office is the best thing.
right, right, right. Okay, okay, great, great. Before closing this webinar, before closing this entire interview, can you suggest anything, or rather, I'll, ask you, can you suggest any what not to do kind of thing, or what not to do kind of advice to the youngsters, to the graduates?
So what not to do? I guess my first advice would be don't worry and don't take stress. And the first 5 years of your career are like the first 6 overs of a T20 match. So it's power play like Sehwag. Take as much risk as you can. And once you are settled, once you have identified like in which industry you want to work, in which domain you want to work, and what expertise you have gained throughout. After that, like you can play like Sachin or Dravid based
Right,
on your
right,
choice.
Right. Wonderful. Because you mentioned risk now, that remembered me with this, Harshad Mehta's risk hai to ishq hai. Because the biggest risk in the market is not taking a risk. So I
Right.
appreciate your suggestion that, if you really wish to, go ahead with your exponential career growth, financial growth, you should take a risk. So that is something which is a
Absolutely.
biggest suggestion. Right. Great. So thank you so much, Aditya, for joining us. And on behalf of each of us and each student, whoever have joined on our Siri platform, we would like to have you stay connected for any of our, or any of the expertise which you rather share with us. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sachin sir. Thank you so much for inviting me, and it was a great experience talking to you. And even I learned a lot, while talking to you. And I guess it was overall a great session. And I wish we can, do some more sessions in the near future.
Sure. And I suggest all our viewers, all our students and graduates, you can stay connected with Aditya on LinkedIn. He is active on LinkedIn. His name is Aditya Sehgal. You can just search on LinkedIn. You can follow him on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
And for all the students, whosoever wants to connect and have any doubts, they can directly get in touch with me. I would be happy to answer all their queries. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.